Alright guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about what is the best class to use the level 70 boost on. Now first of all, my piece of advice is, you don't want to be boosting a class you don't enjoy playing. So obviously the class that you find to be the most fun is going to be the best option for you. You can easily go onto the pre-patch PTR to try out the classes. Especially if this booster character is actually going to be your main because you are returning to play Wrath of the Lich King Classic. But let's say you don't really care about stuff like that, we will cover more practical reasons to boost an alt in this video also. By the way guys, apparently only 20% of the people who watch my videos are subscribed to the channel. Don't be afraid of the sub button guys, it doesn't cost a single penny and it really does help me out. But anyway, let's move on. Before I jump in to give you more practical advice, I'll tell you what I'm doing. Firstly, I'm not going to boost a character in the pre-patch. I'm going to play Wrath of the Lich King for a few good months, and then I'm going to see what happens. What class am I going to become the most jealous and envious of? Some classes might turn out to become more powerful than people you originally thought. I think this is very likely to happen whether you're playing PvP or you're doing PvE raiding. We can still only make educated guesses on what classes are going to be the strongest. Because in reality we have to wait for the raid to come out, and we have to wait for a big pool of information from Warcraft logs to determine which specs are actually best. So don't just boost the character that some YouTuber said is the strongest in his video. This includes my video, because my videos are only based on educated guesses that are based on private server data and information, which could be totally different in real Wrath of the Lich King Classic. Just like in the Burning Crusade, things did turn out quite different to what we originally predicted. Not massively different, but nonetheless different. I started playing a Shadow Priest in TBC and I became very jealous of Warlocks because they scale so well with gear, whereas the Shadow Priest didn't. So I decided to boost a Warlock, and although the Warlock is a pretty simple and straightforward class, I did find it very fun. And I have to say, I definitely enjoyed TBC raiding way more than vanilla. But let's talk about the more practical reasons as to why you would boost an alt. Say you don't really care about having fun on the booster character, you just want it to make gold. Well, personally I think the best gold farmer is definitely going to be the Paladin, the Mage or the Druid. Paladin's going to be the king of instance farming, Mage more so for open world farming because their instance farming has been nerfed, and the Druid is a trick of all trade as always. They're good for instance farming in Boomkin spec and great for open world farming, and they're also really good for gathering because of flight form. Plus the Druid has effectively 4 different specializations, so you do get more out of your money. Another thing you might want to consider is what is the slowest leveler in Wrath of the Lich King. Honestly, all the classes are much faster at leveling now, apart from maybe the Rogue, since all of their cleave abilities are more cooldown abilities and they still don't have any great healing abilities either. In fact, I'm 99% sure that they have absolutely zero healing capability apart from bandages. Now another thing you may want to consider is what classes are going to be the highest demand for raids and potential future GDKP runs, so that you can play the alt in GDKPs and then funnel the gold to your main. So I think the highest demand class definitely going to be the Priest, the Shadow Priest more so, and if you can dual spec Disc Priest and Shadow Priest, it's going to be so easy for you to get GDKP runs. Especially as in Shadow spec you can still pump with healer gear on. I also think Hunter is a good solid option, mainly because it's one of the least played classes in Wrath of the Lich King Classic very weirdly. They also bring great buffs and debuffs to the raid and have less loot competition with the other classes because obviously they use ranged weapons as their main weapon. Apart from a Hunter, my other recommendations would be to play Shaman, Demonology Warlock or a Paladin, but not so much the Retribution Paladin. Now Shamans of all specs are always in fairly decent demand, not as much demand as they were in TBC but still a decent demand because of Bloodlust and their totems. Demolock is also in pretty good demand because they have a scaling spell power buff, although the raid only needs 1. Then when it comes to Paladins, Prot Paladin and Holy Paladin are in really big demand. You can easily bring 2 Prot Paladins or 2 Holy Paladins to a raid. And although a lot of people are probably going to play Paladins and Wrath of the Lich King later in its lifetime, when we're going to have the inevitable big player drop-off, that's when they will start to pick up in demand. So to summarise, Priest, Hunter, Shaman, Warlock and Paladin are going to be great GDKP Alt options. Now, if you're mainly going to be playing Wrath of the Lich King for PvP and doing Arena, then things are going to be a little bit different because your main priority is to be able to get Arena teams. In my opinion, healers are definitely going to have the best time at finding an Arena team because less people play healers, fairly simple. And the biggest, highest demand healer, because it is the best healer in Wrath of the Lich King Classic, is definitely going to be the Holy Paladin. The LA Shaman and the Warrior are also god tier classes for PvP. Arena teams will always want a good LA Shaman or a Warlock and also a Death Knight, but obviously you can't boost a Death Knight. And I think another honourable mention would be either a Hunter or a Warlock, Rogue or Mage. You can also extend that to a Pharaoh Druid to be honest, but it's important to understand that some classes have much higher skill ceilings than others. But anyway guys, those are my recommendations on what classes to boost with the level 70 boost. My name is MetaGoblin, until the next video, ciao.